Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Darren Holmes from Kaizen Mindset, Kaizen Wellness. Kaizen Wellness is a physical, mental health and wellness platform where we utilise skills, methods, modalities, techniques and strategies from mental health first aid, mental health awareness, cognitive behavioural therapy, PTSD counselling, neuro-linguistic programming, the roots and dimensions of wellness and mindful behaviours. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where my camera is. What do I want to talk about this evening? Right, tomorrow is the 11th of the 11th, 2021. So that is Remembrance Day. I want to discuss this evening, I would like to make it briefly, but it won't be brief, post-traumatic stress disorder, Remembrance Day, the stress threshold, and something called the anatomy of courage. Okay, so where to start? There are 6 different types of post-traumatic stress disorder, and any of those types of post-traumatic stress disorder will put you into this place here, which is what we call the stress head, where all the plates and all the gears are just spinning all at the same time, and your ability to concentrate on certain things is really, really hard. First type of PTSD is diagnosed or called a normal stress response. So that normal stress response will constitute after a singular traumatic event, feelings of emotional numbness, flashbacks, night terrors, isolation, so isolating yourself from society or from your friends and family, tenseness in the body, so you're feeling really taut all the time, and feelings of basically just not living in reality. Second type of PTSD is called acute stress disorder. So with the acute stress disorder, it's like an addition to the normal stress response, if you like. Now this is following this can be due to long periods of unemployment. It can be due to loss of loved ones, so the feelings of grief, natural disasters, COVID, for instance, rape and physical abuse. Moving forward, a third type of PTSD is called an uncomplicated PTSD. Now, whoever gave it that word, there's no type of PTSD that is uncomplicated. It all comes with complication. Now, this is following like a single life-threatening event. So it could be a car crash, it could be a fall off a building, it could be a gas explosion in your house. It could be anything that is a single life-threatening event. Symptoms of that would be similar to what we've just discussed in the other 2, flashbacks, nightmares, avoidance. Add into that mood swings, irritability, anger outbursts, basically always feeling a lack of safety. I had a conversation with my dad yesterday where I said over the years I've gone through periods of time where I feel as though I've completely lost my bottle and I don't understand why. Now, there's a great book here called The Anatomy of Courage, which was written by Lord Moran. Now, Lord Moran, he was a trauma surgeon during the First World War on the Somme. And then during the Second World War, he was Winston Churchill's psychiatrist. So he saw trauma from the battlefield hands-on, and he also saw trauma psychologically during World War II. He wrote a book called The Anatomy of Courage, and what he explains in The Anatomy of Courage is that every single human being has a stress account. From a military point of view, if you are on the battlefield and you have £100 in your stress account, you go out on your patrol on day 1, every time you come into some form of contact, let's say, you could spend 10 quid of your stress account. You speak to anybody that served in Iraq or Afghanistan recently, they could spend that £100 on the first day. They've then got a 6-month tour to get through the rest of that time period with a almost depleted stress account or working out of an overdraft. Put it into civilian terms. So the post that I did last week about the stress threshold, or what's called the allostatic load, which is how much pressure your nervous system can take at any one point in time. There are graphics now on my social media accounts that will explain the stress threshold. It's exactly the same as the anatomy of courage or the stress account from a military battlefield perspective. Moving forward, PTSD number 4. This is where it starts getting interesting. So, complex or complicated post-traumatic stress disorder. So this is following multiple exposures to life-threatening or traumatic events. So this is the compounded effect of all of the other different types of PTSD, plus multiple contacts, multiple IEDs, you name it. People that have been there will know exactly what I'm talking about. Living on pins 24/7, never knowing when the next mortar attack is, never knowing when the next rocket attack is. You are literally living on your nervous system 24/7 in those environments. Must be very similar for doctors and nurses in the intensive care units, firemen, policemen, paramedics, social workers, people who are going to get called into traumatic events at the flick of a switch. So, going on the complex post-traumatic stress disorder, domestic abuse, child abuse, warfare, NHS staff, police, fire, etc., etc. Anybody that experiences multiple stressful traumatic events. Then you go into a thing called comorbid PTSD. So this is what I like to call the trauma cocktail. So this is where you have all of the aspects of your normal stress responses: fight, flight, freeze, fawn, the acute stress disorders, complex post-traumatic stress of multiple traumatic events, then the comorbid or the co-occurring stress disorders. So this is where you can then add in depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorders, body dysmorphia, self-esteem issues, social anxieties, irrational fears. So social anxiety, I was going to a friend's wedding on Saturday. I've been really good for a long time because I am utilising all the coping strategies that we use at Kaizen Mindset, Kaizen Wellness on a daily basis, every single day. Routes to Wellness. If you don't know what it is, please jump on my website, www.kaizen-mindset.co.uk, and you'll find all the information you need there and all the coping strategies to do with the Routes to Wellness. Where was I going with that then? Come down the stairs, picked my phone up to ring a taxi, all suited and booted. My body just started trembling. Body just started shaking for no reason. Nothing going on up here. There was nothing going on somatically at the time other than my body just started to shake for no reason. I took a few big deep breaths, phoned the taxi, and then I was fine. It's an irrational fear of social environments, and within 1 minute I was back in the land of the living because I used my breathing strategies to get myself out the front door. Additional to this then, so suicidal thoughts, multiple other mental health issues, and then substance abuse. So the disassociation from all of the stress and trauma that you're trying to deal with using drugs, alcohol, sex, violence to disassociate yourself from the traumas. I want to tell everybody to man the fuck up. All right? If you're dealing with PTSD in any way, shape or form, any of those things that I've just mentioned, man the fuck up. And what I mean by that is You've got nothing to prove to anybody. From a military service point of view, if you've served in hostile environments, you've been on the front line and you've got the medals to prove it, you've proved everything you need to prove to anybody, to family, to friends, to colleagues. If you are struggling in any way, shape or form, man the fuck up and reach out. Be an adult, be a grown up, reach out for help and just ask. Ask me at Kaizen Mindset, Kaizen Wellness. Go to Combat Stress, go to Help for Heroes. I'm going to post a number of graphics in the comments to this video, and on that will be lots of different phone numbers or text numbers for anybody that wants to reach out for help in various different ways. Tomorrow, Remembrance Day. Historically not something I look forward to at all, because it just trips me up every single year. As soon as I hear the last post go, I go. And I'm sure there's lots of veterans that can agree with that as well. What is Remembrance Day all about? Okay, it's about the 19,420 men who died on the first day of the Somme, or the accumulative 418,000 soldiers that are military personnel that died during World War One. 384,000 military deaths in World War II, as well as 70,000 civilians from the bombing campaign. 1,100 soldiers died during the Korean War. 255 soldiers died in the Falklands. 1,441 British military personnel died in Northern Ireland, in Otbana. 47 during the Gulf War. 179 soldiers died in Iraq. 457 military personnel died in Afghanistan. And then there was a mixture of unconfirmed special forces deaths in the likes of Sierra Leone and places like that. So Remembrance Day gives us all the opportunity where we can remember the dead and also think about the people who are still falling, okay? We remember the fallen, but we have to look after those who are still falling. Darren Holmes from Kaizen Mindset UK, Kaizen Wellness. Man the fuck up, guys, boys and girls, reach out for help. Hope you have a great Remembrance Day. It's not meant to be a somber post. Hold your heads up high and be proud of your service. And that's for everybody in the NHS, everybody in the police, social services, fire officers, Coast Guard, anybody that I've missed, I apologise. Man the fuck up, woman the fuck up, and reach out for help.